Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Want to uh, I want to share with you some of my thinking, and what it was. I've been on a fast, and when I'm doing that, I really don't do a whole lot. So I spent a lot of time on the computer. I spent a lot of time on Netflix, and so I've been watching movies and seeing things and trying to relate to all this stuff. And one of the things that I noticed, um, uh, there, the British Empire. The British Empire is pretty much respected. Well, it used to be respected throughout the world. And the main reason, they had guns, they had a military might, kind of like the Falkland Islands. I believe it was in Argentina. It was Argentina, the islands off Argentina. And these islands decided they wanted to be, I guess they wanted their independence or something. I don't know what it was. It happened some time back. And the British moved their military down there and then shot them with a couple of missiles, and that pretty much took care of calmed all the people. And so, and they kept them in control. And so what it is, it's that military might that gets them respected. And it's basically the same thing with the United States. When the United States, Americans, if you travel out much, you're going to see Americans are pretty much respected. Now, World War I, World War II had a lot to do because the United States is a young country. And to get the respect that they have, they had to do it basically with the military might. But it was through, like I say, the world wars. This is what they were really known for, being a superior, I don't want to say race, but Americans are known. And now since then, we've also done the same thing, like I say, with the Arabian countries. Whenever they don't want to use dollars anymore, well, then we go blow them up and stuff like that. That's why we have all that problems going on in Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan. That's all basically between the drugs and the oil. That's why the United States got to use their military might down there so much. For intimidation and try to, but the reality is that is really what got everybody's attention. But I believe, because I don't know, look at me. I mean, I'm not a white guy. I'm not the British type of thing. And the Chinese are getting ready to do the same thing. But when they start flexing their military might, they're going to get strong all over the world. And but right now they're not known for that. Still, people make fun of them as you know the goofy-eyed glasses and there's weird, little dorky, weak people, and but it's going to change. And I'll tell you, they haven't learned what it is that really makes a change, and that's what I want to talk about. What is it that really makes not so much a race, but a person superior? And because I am half Chinese, and I've already talked about my past, how I was brought up, stuff like that, I've never looked at myself as being superior. until I need to. When I need to be superior, I'm superior. But when I don't need to, I try not to act it because I serve others. This is what I do, is I serve others. The problem is, a lot of times people think serving others is a weakness. You think of serving somebody, you think of somebody working at McDonald's, you're thinking about the housekeeper. These people serve you. That's mainly what people think of. They don't always think the military and the police, they serve you, supposed to serve you. And they serve you by protecting you. And like I say, I've had businesses all my life, and like I say, I'm the servant. I serve people. Most of them were restaurants, but like I say, I was in the oil business, and even that, I took care of my own oil wells, or I serviced other people's oil wells. So a lot of times people think of being served, of being a servant, as someone weak. And here's another thing about the Chinese. The Chinese, it's in their genes more for being a servant. Like I said, I'm Chinese. So, and I say my wife was Chinese, and so they have the attitude of serving others isn't bad. It's a good thing. Now a lot of their serving is because they are forced to serve, and they don't know how to act superior. And it's funny, acting superior. I say I don't do it that often. I'd much rather be one of you. I like to be like everybody else. I mean, most people like to be like everybody else, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to be superior than others. Now, after saying that, when force, intimidation, this type of activity is being pushed on me, I say I enjoy serving others because I want to. Nobody makes me. Matter of fact, nobody makes me do anything. But and the time when people start getting the attitude they're going to make me is when me being superior comes out. Now, the way to do that, to be superior, you have to learn to act with class. Now, that doesn't mean you have to act like that. That's not class. That's being snubby. So, and it's funny because, I'm from Oklahoma. We're all country folk. And people, same thing. They look at country folk as no class and country bumpkins kind of stuff. And so, and here I am, a Chinaman, a country Chinaman. They really, what the hell is that? And I say, so it's funny because I act like a country boy. Like I say, I'm a cowboy, but I'm in Oklahoma, raise cattle, and in here, and most every place else I go, I'm a business owner, and business owners normally serve others, and that's what I do. And so people look at the serving as being weak. So when I'm approached at roadblocks, whether I don't care if they're police, military, bandits, drug cartel, or whatever, that's when I turn on my charm. Charm is the wrong word, but that's what I turn on my class. I do act with class. I never realized what that meant, but acting with class means, for one thing, you look people in the eye. We talked about the handshake. We've talked about manners. We talked about dress. We talked about carrying yourself. These are all things that all come together when it's time to act with class. And I've got some advantages, physical advantages. I mean, I'm 6 foot, about 185, and I'm not little, I'm not big, and so I use what I have to my advantage. And really, it's the size doesn't really make any difference when you put together all the other stuff that I talked about. When you do all that, you act with class. When you act with class, that means you act with authority. And when you act with authority, they will respect you. And like I say, it's also easier for me, because like I say, I'm an American, but I do the same thing when I'm in the United States. So I'm covering so many bases. Something is going to show up. Something's going to shine. And it's this. And so I try to show, like I say, I do have the authority, I have class, I'm not here to be victimized. And I don't need to use threats or intimidation, especially when it's me against 10, 20 of them. Intimidating them is a little tricky, but I do it if I have to. And that right back to goes along with your dress. We talked about the weapons, the type of weapons or tools that we use. Not all are weapons, depending on how you use them. And I mean, anything can be a weapon, even though, like say in California, they don't think a brick is a weapon. Like say when they had that truck driver on the King riot, and they beat him with a brick, they said that wasn't a weapon. But I bet you if they were on the ground, somebody was beating them with a brick, they would have a different thoughts about what a weapon was. So and that's why I work out with all different types of tools, even rocks. So we prepare ourselves to act with class. We prepare ourselves to be treated with dignity and respect. And if you can't do that, you're probably going to be victimized. We talked about the tyrants. When the government is walking all over you, when the people as a whole act like wimps, that's what happens. When people as a whole take advantage or take personal responsibility, the intimidation doesn't work all that well. And taking personal responsibility on the whole means sometimes we have to work with others. That's why I push the 3-man militia. There's times we have to stand strong. We have to learn how to act with class and dignity. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.